Please welcome on stage, Mr. Andrew Thorp!
Gosh, what an act it follows, goodness me.
Are you ready, Andrew?
Okay, I'm going to talk about a very, very scary topic, and that's networking. It's kind of what you've been doing tonight if you're deliberately putting yourself in situations where you'll meet people that you don't know. It's kind of going against what your mother told you not to do when you were little, and that's talk to strangers, but we put ourselves out there deliberately. I've been doing networking for many, many years. It's been largely a positive experience. I've met some lovely people, but occasionally, it goes wrong and you come a cropper. I remember I was networking once in a very, very busy bar. It was in Wilmslow. All the noise from downstairs was coming upstairs. Hard to hear yourself think, hard to hear what people were saying. And a chap came up to me and he asked me the question that we kind of dread in the networking arena. We spoke about this before. What do you do? And we go, oh my God, what am I going to say? And we blurt out something which is typically a little bit unremarkable, often what's in the business card. So I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to say something different here. I'm going to impress. I'm going to stand out. So I used a line which is, I tell stories. And you kind of hope when you say something like that, an unusual line to deliver, that it will have a spark of interest. There'll be a flicker of intrigue. But sadly, no. I got the following expression. Complete poker face, not a hint of interest, and you think, well, hey-ho, let's move on, it's not his thing, and the conversation went elsewhere. A couple of minutes later, somebody he knew came over, they chatted, he turned to me and he introduced his friend to me. And he said, this is Andrew, he sells storage. And I thought, I didn't say that. And it wasn't a particularly unpleasant experience, it was just a misunderstanding and it led to an amusing conversation afterwards. But I think for many people, networking doesn't work very well. It's got a bit of a bad rap over the years. You know, it doesn't always turn out the way that we hope it will do. And perhaps, on reflection, there's a couple of core reasons for that. I think that people try too hard. If any of you do any networking, you sometimes try too hard or find people who try too hard. Maybe they're under pressure to bring some results in, to get some business in quickly. And also they behave in ways that they would never normally behave in a social context. A little while back, I wrote a blog about this, and it became very controversial in my network. And it was taking the mickey out of some of the worst networking behaviours that you come across, characterising them, giving them character stereotypes. And what I want to do is run through one or two of these things and see if you've met these people before. We've got the meerkat. You're conversing with the meerkat and soon they stretch their neck up and scan the horizon for someone else to speak to because you're clearly not in the market to buy from them there and then. It's a bit rude, but it happens, doesn't it? They scan around. Then we've got the predator. The predator's on the hunt. They're on the hunt for easy pickings, for prey, vulnerable prey. And they'll thrust their business card in your face very, very early on in the conversation. Slightly aggressive, not very pleasant. Then we've got what could be described as man's best friend. These are people who are very friendly, but they latch themselves onto you. They're hard to shake off. You can't get rid of them. And they stand too close, no perception of personal space. They take a step forward when you take a step back, and then you're up against the wall. Man's best friend. We've got the spitter. That's the Roy Hattersley from Spitting Image, by the way, if you remember that. These are people who spit. They put spittle and crumbs on your blouse or your jacket, and you think, well, shall I wipe it off, or shall I leave it there and carry on? And it happens because we're talking and speaking at the same time with those things going on. Alan Partridge. This is the centre of attention. This is the person who really is a little bit up their own backside, who has to hold the limelight. You've got a story, you share an experience, they've got one better. I love this picture of David Cameron. Oh my God, not another story, please, David, right? This is what I characterise as the human brochure. This is somebody where you make the mistake of asking them about themselves and they deliver what is effectively a verbal version of their entire catalogue of products and services. You mentioned Dory before. Dory, as we know, suffers from short-term memory loss. This is somebody who you meet, you get on well, she promises to send you this, introduce you to this person, never hear from her again. It's as if the conversation never took place. But there is good news. You may occasionally meet the horticulturist. This is the person that's in it not for the short win, but for the long game. They sow seeds. They're respectful, they listen, they're interested. These are really nice people. But it's no good sowing seeds willy-nilly. You've got to attend the right networking events, which is the right soil. You've got to look after them once you've planted them, which means contacting people, keeping in touch with people, seeing how they're getting on. And over time, you build up a kind of a collective goodwill, you know, social capital it's sometimes called. So although I've taken the mickey a little bit out of some of these exaggerated behaviours, don't be fearful of doing it. It's a great way of developing opportunities in business and new things for the future. But also be alert for those behaviours coming your way and also creeping into your own networking style. Thank you.
Thank you, Thorp, ladies and gentlemen.